Okay. Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in on Sick Nick TV. I'm Sick Nick, and today I want to tell you a bit about myself, my story, and why I do what I do. Let's go back in time a little bit. Here I was 26 years ago, still a fetus, but almost ready to rock and roll. I was born at 24th of July in 1992. What a beautiful Friday to come to life, guys. Wow. I lived the first 21 years of my life in the city of Oristano, which is located in Sardinia, one of the most beautiful islands in Italy, and in the world, I would say. Since I was young, I've been a quite hyperactive and creative person, and I definitely was an artist. Kind of. I loved playing soccer, and my friends and I spent most of our time in the neighbor's park playing that and any kind of game. Oh my god, we had so much fun. I've always been a crazy kid too, and I had fun in a way that still makes me think there was something wrong in my head. I also was a little troublemaker, and I was in love with fire. Such a strong love that at the age of 12, I've lit my neighbor's veranda on fire by playing with a little firecracker. Obviously, I didn't do that on purpose, but until this day, no one knows it was my fault. When I was 7 years old, my parents got divorced. It's quite a heavy thing for a young little boy to digest, and I hope you cannot relate to this. But fuck it, I think that's another thing that shaped me after all. I've never tried a cigarette or used drugs in my youth, so kids, I'm the living proof that you can have fun even without that shit. Fuck that shit. Since I'm young, I've always been attracted to fitness and sport, and I spent a big part of my time training and playing any kind of sport. I don't remember much of when I was younger, but every memory I have is either me playing with my friends or me falling down from a tree. Just like sports, since I was young, I've always had a passion for music. I sang in a few musicals too. I still remember how scared I was on stage. In one of them I had the devil role, and looking at it now, I look like more of a fucking ballerina with fucking long hair, and it's just terrible. When I was 11 years old, I started playing the clarinet, and that's when I actually got to study music properly. In my teenage years, I've also developed a passion for photography, and when I was 16 years old, I got my first job ever as a photographer in local clubs, which made me a pretty happy kid, since I got paid to party and socialize with people. Even now, like then, I love working with people and I love making people smile. Since I was young, I had a plan I was gonna make a positive impact in people's life. I just didn't know how or when that was actually going to happen. At the age of 18, I went overseas for the first time. I went to Thailand with my gym buddies to learn Muay Thai from the best. I still remember I made sacrifices to pay the trip, since at that age I didn't really have an income. But that trip opened my mind a little bit. Apparently traveling has this powerful effect on people. There are two things I never had in my life since I'm young: money and fear, and I've always had a great life anyway. Since I was young, my life has always been a series of lucky rejections, and especially in my last years of high school. I know what you're thinking right now: how can rejections be lucky or even good? Well, they can. During school holidays, I worked as a cook. The prospect of living my entire life in a big kitchen just wasn't appealing. After graduating, I tried to get a job as an electrician, and I got rejected. Same result when I tried to get into the army. But fuck those, I didn't actually want those jobs. I'm so grateful I got those rejections then, or right now I wouldn't be talking to you, and I would be stuck for sure in a life that I didn't want. At the age of 21, I finally decided that Italy was too small for me and for my goal, and I decided to move to Australia to finally stop settling for less than what I deserve. I was quite tired of playing not to lose instead of playing to win. You know what? Stop a minute. You know what pisses me off a lot about the real world we live in? Is the fact that when you are young, everyone pushes you to dream big, not to keep your dream in the closet, to become a fucking astronaut, if that's what you want to do. But then what happens? You grow up and the same people tell you not to dream too high. No more skyrockets for you, and they shut the fucking closet, putting a lock on it. My personal advice, like pure honest, have big, huge dreams. The bigger the better. Make sure they are so big that they scare you. And don't ever give up on them, or life will suck. that's what it will suck. So when I left my hometown, the Italian economic situation was terrible and I didn't have any chance of a good future if I stayed there any longer. I love Australia because it's the country where you can really make your dream come true. Here there are so many more opportunities than in my home country, that's why I chose to migrate here in the first place. Don't worry, I still visit my hometown for holidays sometimes. I love spending time with my family and friends over there. So 2014, I finally landed in Perth, and with zero spoken English, I started looking for the only job I could do that didn't require a language, obviously. So after 10 days of hunting, cooking again in an Italian restaurant, yeah! I didn't plan to stay there for long. I needed the job just to start understanding how things work in this new country. You can't even imagine how many times I looked like a fool when, I was having my first conversation with people using my phone with Google Translator 24/7 on my hand. And I was trying to understand as much as I could, Horrible. Anyway, believe it or not, those first 2 years I've changed jobs more than 15 times. And I had 3 jobs at a time, most of the time. I've changed that many jobs, maybe because I got bored easily, maybe to learn English faster, maybe it doesn't matter. The truth is that here I could really be who I am, and I've just done what I feel like doing since day one, no explanation to anyone. Oh. Since the first day in Australia, I felt free. I started believing myself like never before. And every day since then, I've challenged myself to be better than myself the previous day, day after day. I started doing whatever came into my mind, like I used to do when I was a kid.
Swing the whip, keep the whip above your head. On the count of 3, I'm going to crack the whip, okay? 1, 2, 3, okay? There you go, mate, it's all yours. Yep, now, way to go. You're swinging the whip forward good.
I started doing things that were uncomfortable. I stopped worrying about people's opinion. People judge you whatever you do. So you might as well do what you love and be happy. I'll be honest with you, initially it's been hard, even for me, but I kept living that way and I noticed that I was growing much faster internally. And I was also becoming a happier person. So why the hell would I ever have changed that? I'm not saying I didn't make any mistakes along the way. I made tons of them. The only difference is that I've completely changed the relationship I had with failure. Failure suddenly stopped being my enemy. So one day you win, one day you learn. You lose if you never fucking try. I chose to be happy my way, to be comfortable with discomfort, not to be scared of change anymore. Ta-da! I had everything I needed, chemically pure happiness. So at the age of 23, I met Claudia. She is my sweetheart, best friend, wife, and the best thing that's ever happened to me. This is us in Thailand for our honeymoon. And yes, I visited a local gym even then, because you cannot visit Thailand without visiting a local gym at least once or twice. After I got married a few years ago, I started my career as a kids entertainer, and that's when I finally understood that I had to entertain for a living. Maybe because I know what it's like to be sad. Making kids happy gave me so much more joy than any other job I've ever had. So what is better than working as a clown or a superhero making kids parties the best I ever had? I never had my favorite superhero hosting my 7th birthday party, so that, more than anything else, drove me to be the best kids entertainer in the whole city. And you know what? I genuinely think I succeeded. Even after starting my little business as an entertainer, I felt like something was still missing though. I really wanted to make a bigger impact in this world than just on 20 kids at a party. The reality was that I wanted to entertain millions of people instead, and the only way I could do that was by using the internet. That's when my passion for photography evolved into a passion for videography and acting. Soon enough, I started making stupid, funny videos that between us were more stupid and funny. Later on, I ended up filming pranks and social experiment videos here on YouTube. Since day one, I loved everything about it. My main goal is to make a positive impact in people's lives, and I will do that with my videos. At the same time, it's also a way for me to get the daily dose of adrenaline I deserve. Thanks to my videos, you can experience different emotions, but from my story you can learn that anything is possible if you get out of your comfort zone, if you chase your dreams, if you believe in yourself, if you work fucking hard for it. Many times I thought the world was falling on me, especially when my plans didn't work exactly the way I wanted. But don't do the same mistake I did. Don't knock yourself down. Sometimes it's a blessing. Sometimes when the door you knock doesn't open, maybe it's just because that's the wrong one. Even when we think it's the only one for us. So just keep knocking, but on different doors. And trust me on this, you will find the right one. Don't ever give up. I really made a change in my life, and I finally have the life of my dreams. Now is the time for me to make a change in other people's life too. Yes, people just like you. I hope you really like my content because your appreciation drives the shit out of me, and it's a big boost of my creativity. I'm so happy you're still watching this video. So since I already feel like we are pretty good friends and I want to see you again, just do me a favor. Go and hit the subscribe button right now and click on the little bell to turn notifications on so that you won't miss any of my coming videos. I upload a new one every Tuesday and I reply to your comment whenever I can. So I guess I'll see you soon, right? Love from Nick. Technique!